Hey everyone, we are the Gratitude Girls.
The Gratitude Girls are in the house. Hi, Lori. How are you?
Great, how are you?
I'm facing my fears today. Tonight, we're broadcasting to you live. My name is Rara Catherine Asaro Myers. I'm in Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, Canada, and Lori and I just had a fantastic conversation. I'll let her introduce herself, and then we're going to get right into our coaching and training tonight. Here's my amazing partner.
Thank you so much. Yes, I am Lori Del Radecki, and I am in a little tiny town outside of Nashville, Tennessee.
Just before we go live on this call, we have a lot of information to share, and we want to make sure that we're providing you with the best possible free coaching and training that will give you value. And as we're just about to go live, just so that we can encourage each other, I hear three words: face your fear. And I think it's the best advice we could give each other and we could give to you tonight. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, sharing information on social media. How do you share? And if it scares you, face your fear. Whatever button you have to push, it's okay. We pushed a button to go live. Maybe before we went live, we were doing something, not staring in front of the camera, but it's still okay. So Lori, let's talk a little bit, let's take 10 minutes or so, and let's talk about how you share information. Like, you're so good at it. You're so good at live videos. We have so many strengths together, and you do it every day. So would you be kind enough to share that fear button when it says live, let me talk to my audience, and I don't even know if they're watching me button?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I mean, if you follow me and you go way back to 2000, I think it's 8 or 9 is when I first joined Facebook anyway. And you look at my first live videos, they're atrocious. But guess what? I didn't delete them like a lot of people do. So they're still there. You could go back and find them. If you go back to our first YouTube videos, it's not as great either. But the thing is, we learn and we progress as we go on, and you practice, right? Practice makes perfect, right? So what do all the major athletes that are the major stars, the NFL players and all that, right? They practice. So the more you practice for your business or for your lives or whatever you want to do, the more you practice that, the better you're going to get. So the biggest thing is face your fears and just do it. Just get busy and start doing it.
It's easy to say, it's easy to do, it's easy not to do. Sure, just face your fear, hit the button. Sometimes we're thinking, I want to look better, I want to sound better. So you get cameras and you get lights and you get mics. Sure. But if you wait for the scenario to be just the way you want it, you'll never do it. So if you have an iPhone these days, I have an iPhone, it's a 13 Pro Max. I guess it's old already, right? You have great cinematography on this phone. You could go live right from your phone. You don't need anything else. The mic is great. So Lori, you know better than anyone. You just have to hold your device in your hand and that's it. And you're live and you're on, you're walking the beach, you're living the laptop lifestyle.
Right, absolutely. There's all those people that sell all the different, like the ring lights and all that. I have one in a box somewhere, but this is just my office. But I do have a separate camera on my desktop, but on my laptop where I do lives from a lot of times and from my phone, that's it. It's just the device. And it still works. And the same thing, if your hair's not perfect, your makeup's not perfect, who cares? People that love you prefer to see you raw and real anyway, right, and not being such a perfectionist.
Great point, because I was just going to say that scares so many people. Going live, what if I can't find the stop button? What if I don't know how to stop it? Right, you're laughing because it happens. I hit start and I don't know how to stop the video. And you think you're off camera and you're not. It's going to happen. Things are going to happen. Be prepared to have that camera and mic live at all times until you absolutely know you're not. So practice, and you can say, bear with me, or welcome to my first live, or welcome to my launch month or my launch week. Prepare people for the fact that you're doing it new, and they too will be encouraged. Well, let me talk a little bit and we can come back to that. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I do on my phone, because I too don't sit right here and do most of my work. This is where I talk to people when I have a camera and I have a mic, and I do have a light on, because otherwise, so let me show you what happens when I'll give you some ideas. I'm sitting in a room with everything closed and I have a ring light. So if I don't adjust my ring light, I'm going to be in a dark room. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I'll talk to you like that, but you might want to see me a little bit more. So in order to develop a little bit more, perhaps, trust, we could do this and really make it bright. So that's what I do when I'm having a bridge session or a gratitude girl session or conversation with someone. Well, when it comes to sharing information, I use some apps on my phone. Android, iOS, you can download these. So you've heard of Canva. Canva is really easy to use on your phone. Your pictures are on your phone. You need to play with it, of course, to learn what that means when you advance, and what does it mean to replace, and the little garbage pail means you're trashing it. Yeah, you don't want to hit that unless you don't like it. So I'll give you the list of the apps that I use most frequently. Canva, Photofunia. And you can go on my account and you can see something that looks like a boat that says the bridge, or two arrows that say something in a different direction. That's Photofunia. Word Swag. So you take the photo and it puts it in a frame, and then you get to put some words on it. Story Swag. I'll put multiple images, up to 8 or 9, and I'll create a slideshow and I'll have words appear. And then I really like using Motion Leap. Now, whatever I do in my phone, I then take it to TikTok and I add TikTok music and I add effects. Then I take it and I run it through another platform and I'll add additional effects, all on my phone. So does it sound complicated? For me, it's a lot of fun. Take a picture, run it through an app, do one step, don't do 2 steps, but I sort of get intrigued by this. How many layers could I have? 10 seconds of me standing still, and then 10 seconds with gold dust, and then 10 more seconds turning pink and purple. You may not see that when you watch my promotions or my marketing, but I see it. I do it for me. So in my case, I use my phone, I create my image, and I play with it. Like Lori said, hit the button, let it go, let it be what it has to be. Pick a song. It doesn't matter if it matches. If you like the beat, go with it. Most people are not going to sit and listen to the entire thing anyway. I mean, I don't want to discourage you, but if it's too long, people probably won't hang out with it. So if you keep it short and sweet. So I really like using my phone and apps.
Right. Yeah. And that's it. Like Catherine said, if it's too long, people are because people are scrolling, right? They're doing this with their thumb. And so if you stay on something too long, that's why we try to keep these 10 minutes or less. Our coachings, we've got years and years worth at 30 minutes, an hour, hour and a half. And people might watch those, and we do save them. They are still in our coaching corner. And if you have access to it, you can watch them, and we believe that they gave valuable information, but most people don't want to sit there for that long. I know I don't. I mean, even if it's something that I want to listen to and I want to watch, I still struggle to find the time to actually sit there and do it. Just like I've got books that I want to read, right? And most of the time I end up buying the same book that I bought on paper because I like the paper book still, but then I'll buy it on my audio format so that way I could listen to it in the car on the way to the grandbaby's house, because that's the most convenient time for me to get all my training in.
Right. So when you're doing your promotion and you're doing whatever it is that you need to be doing, think about how busy people are. So think of yourself. Would you watch yourself? Do you have time to listen to yourself? So a little hack that I have is, at the end of the day, anything that I have done live, I watch with my husband. I watch every show and every piece that I've done, because typically he's not with me. And I mean, he's not with me in the next room and he may not be catching this live. So at the end of the day, whatever it is, and some days I might have recorded a few things, so depends. We go and we watch and we listen, and then we'll talk about that. Oh, that color looked good, or that was a really great, message that you gave, and the lights really looked good, and you looked at the camera, or what happens if you didn't? A lot of what we do is raw. It is meant and designed for you to see us in our real life. We are looking at our camera, we're checking with each other. That's what we're doing now. If we were going to be recording this because it was going to go on Oprah, we might ditch looking at the phones, and we can do that too. But when you're creating your reels, if you're worried about where do I look, well, look at the camera. When Lori's doing a live and she's filming someone, hopefully they're looking at the camera. That's number one. Speak to your audience so that they feel like you're talking to them. And then when you create something, create it for your avatar so that they feel that they could relate to it, right? Being relatable is how someone will listen to you. So when you're really busy, will you listen to you? Will you watch you? I guess my husband's in a precarious position because he really can't say no. He could, but he wouldn't. So I get to watch what I've done, and then I get to be my own best friend and critique that. And I learn from it. So do I have time? Not every day, but I don't record live every day. So that gives me a chance to watch other people because I don't want to really be watching myself. But we're checking our production. So we always want to level up in our production and still be real. So that's the balance. If you were in a playground, Lori, and you were going to get on a swing or go down a slide or go on a seesaw, I think when we talk about marketing, it's more like a seesaw, right? We want to be able to have a balance so that the people that are watching us are going to feel like they can scroll, get to us, get some value. And if they continue to scroll, which they might, they're going to come in at a part where they're going to say, let me flag that and get back to them later. Right. So I feel like a seesaw is what we want to give an image of. We want to stay in some kind of balance zone. You don't want to be like this and you don't want to be like that. And if you're a real rock star and you're a pro, then you can go out and take all the risks that you want, and your audience will be with you no matter what. Like Lori said, when people really like you, they'll stick with you.
Right, absolutely. And if you're giving value, I mean, one thing that I coach people to do is, realistically, if you hate it, you can delete it, but don't. And that's what I tell people to do. Don't delete it. Leave it for at least 30 days. But like I said, you can look at all my old ones. They're there and you can laugh at them too, right? Like in my web and graphics design, I looked at a page not long ago that I had designed 30 years ago, literally. And it's still there because it was on one of those freebie sites and it's literally still there. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's appalling, right? But back then I thought it was great. But so we evolve, we get better as we learn things, right? But still, don't be afraid to be raw and real with people because people appreciate that. You're honest, you're ethical, you're giving the value from your heart. So it doesn't matter if if you sneezed, if you coughed, if you, forgot that this hair was, sticking up like this half the show, don't worry about it, right? Because it doesn't have to be perfect. Like Catherine said, if you're doing something for Oprah or something that's going to be an actual commercial or something that's really going to be major, then yeah, you take the time, you hire the best photographers, videographers, whatever, you have the background right. But for your normal, raw and real stuff, people want to see you. They want to see and hear the real you. They don't want the picture perfect stuff because then they're going to believe that they can't do it till they have their situation picture perfect. And guess what? Most of the time, you're not ever going to be picture perfect because even Catherine and I, as long as we've both been doing this over 30 years together, we have over a half a century of training for you guys. And guess what? We both still have stuff going on in our life. right?
And coughing on live. Yes, we do. And we want you to get to know us for who we are. So if we could give you that tip tonight to be yourself and to be real, let it happen. Look into the camera, smile, and give from your heart. You can share with your audience, whether it's live, whether you're using Canva, whatever these platforms are. We'll be happy to speak with you more, a little bit about it. If you want to get with us privately, we don't want to keep you on here too long. We don't know where you're scrolling on and where you're scrolling off. But Lori, can we talk a little bit about how someone can get with us in case they want to go another step or two deeper?
Yeah, absolutely. So go to gratitudegirls.com/coaching. You can see all our information there about all our private coaching and training. You can also go to facebook.com/gratitudegirls. Make sure you like the page, make sure you follow it. And we have our lives every single week right there. So make sure to tune in, put it on your calendar, and 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern every Monday night. We also, the fourth Tuesday night of every month, which is like tomorrow night, we do our live Gratitude Girl show where we feature a special person that we believe is just emanates gratitude as well. So make sure to tune into that. And if you have any questions, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/gratitudegirls, hit message there and send us a message and let us know your questions and we'll get back with you.
Thank you so much, Lori. It's so much fun to be here. And I love this subject. This is a great topic. So good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.